I've not been out regular for weeks. Once a week maybe if I'm lucky. Today it's not too bad. So middle of the afternoon, just took the opportunity to get them out. These are the cocks. That's the main kit. They're not rolling because they've not been flying. You get a nice little break there, odd birds. There's a couple of birds drifted out the kit. Another one now coming in, I think. Trying, he's rolling to lose height. There we go. He's a good bird and he tends to always jump straight down and go straight in back in the box. I wish we all did that. Watch him now. And he goes. Leave the rest. Could be at least two. They'll refuse to come down for another 10 minutes. I'm hoping keeping them a bit hungrier will encourage them all to come down. I think they're all down actually. This is the box with the ladies in. Got a hardcore group of 8 birds. We'll come out and go up. There's an old hen in here. She's about 8 to 9. She won't go up. Well, go up every now and again. Just check for predators. She'll go up now and then. But the main problem with these girls at the moment is they're laying eggs. Not a problem, but it saps a bit of energy on the constantly laying. You see, they're just panting. She's my favourite bird there, she's a beautiful bird. So you probably saw me set up on the previous videos, and there's many different ways of breeding rollers, and this particular setup just fits in with the boxes I've got. So I made these boxes, and they, as you see in the previous videos, they were stacked 3 high, 1 on each side of this kit box. So in total there was 6 breeding boxes, and I made them this high purely so they'd fit in the kit box. Ideally they would have been better a couple of inches taller, but I think they are inside about 13 inches, 14 inches maybe inside, and they're just shy of 3 foot long. I made these so that the birds could be kept locked in the boxes, because if you know about rollers, the cocks fight like hell when they're all, say, together in a little box like this or in a loft together. They're constantly jostling to be the dominant cock. So I made these boxes so that the birds could be locked in individually, and then I would let them out. I would let a couple of cocks out at a time, so they weren't all fighting. You need to get access into the entire box, and I put these two little trays on the front. One's for feed, one's for water. And it's also a good idea to put a little perch inside the box, because pigeons like to perch. They prefer to perch rather than just standing walking around on the floor. You need something in the box like sand or sawdust or shavings or something, because it does get messy in there. The feed you give your pigeons, well, the feed I used to give my pigeons when they were breeding was this mixture, and it's a real high protein mixture. This, it's called breed and wean in this country, and there's a lot of different seeds and grains in it, and you'll find that the birds start to eat the protein peas first. The bigger peas have got more protein in them, and then they'll start to peck away at the little seeds, usually these safflowers, because they contain a lot of oil and nutrients. They'll kind of leave the grains, the wheat and the grains, until the last. You want to give each bird, if they've got, say they've got 2 chicks, you want to be feeding each bird a tablespoon of this every day. If you give them much more than that, or there's food always available for them, what they'll start to do after a while, they get really selective about what they're going to eat, so they're going to tend to pick out the smaller grains more, and they'll flick, and they'll end up flicking these out the way, and these peas will just get flicked all over the box. You'll just have food everywhere. So if you keep them on 4 tablespoons a day, they're not going to waste it, they're not going to throw it around. What they also need is grit, so they have a pot of this grit inside the box all the time. They also have a pot of this black mineral, which they peck on. This is great stuff, this, because when they're eating this high protein food and they're in these boxes, they can get the runs, you know, they get the squits, so it's spraying everywhere. And this black mineral, it's probably got quite a lot of salts and things in it. It does tend to stop that, and it makes the muck harder. So I found that, because mine were crapping everywhere, squirting crap out the boxes, I started putting this black mineral in regularly. It was there all the time, and it just sort of eliminated that problem. It's important before you put your birds in the box to give them a wormer and something to get rid of lice, parasites, feather mites, all that kind of stuff. You want your birds to be in the box, you want them clean and you want them dewormed. So this is a product we have in Britain. There's many different kind of makes, but you put 1 spot of this behind the neck for roller pigeons, because they're not a big bird. You just put one spot on the skin behind the neck, and about a week later they'll be free of parasites and fleas and mites. So you kind of want to put this on about a week before you put your birds in the box, ideally. But you know, if you put it on as you put them in the box, then it's going to be sort of 10 days before they lay an egg, so they're probably going to be clear by the time they start laying and hatching. Well, they will be, because it'll be 18 days. So what I would advise to do as well when you put your birds together, especially in a small box like this, if you've got 6 breeding boxes in, as I did, next time I would definitely put the 6 cocks in the boxes first, and I would leave all the doors open, and I would let the cocks pick their own boxes, because you're going to find that the dominant cocks are constantly going to fight to be higher up in the box. They want them higher boxes, probably lording it over everybody else. So if you put a dominant cock in a bottom box and you've got a less dominant cock in the top, he's going to be constantly trying to get in that box to fight for it. So it's pretty much a good idea to put your cocks in, let them select the boxes, and if there's still a couple of them arguing after 2 or 3 days, then just shove them in a box. So the top boxes will be taken first, then just shove the other 2 in a box and, you know, make them have it. Then you put your hens in the boxes then. So once you've got your cock in a box, that's his box then, that's his bowl, and the hen will automatically, you know, go in the bowl with him after what? I found it's usually a couple of days. A lot of the time they'll fight, the cock and hen, as you put them in the box. They'll be fighting, she'll be resisting. Eventually she'll come round, As soon as you see the hen sat in the bowl and the cock sat in with her, you know they've paired up, and it will generally be about 10 days when you get your first egg. The second egg will be laid to, say if you lay the first egg on a Monday, your second egg will come on a Wednesday, and the hen will then start sitting. The cock and hen take turns to sit the eggs. The cocks usually go on mid-morning, about 11 or 12 o'clock, and the cock will go on the nest till generally about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, 4 o'clock. Then the hen will get on and she'll sit through the night and back towards the next morning again. When the eggs hatch, which is 18 days after the first egg was laid, the cock will feed the chicks, the hen will feed the chicks, and the same process again. He'll generally get on the chicks about 11 o'clock and sit till middle of the afternoon, just to give the hen a break so she can get out, maybe have a bath, peck some minerals, stretch her legs, flap her wings a bit. I don't let the cocks and hens out of these boxes when I'm breeding. It's a mistake. If you lose one to a predator, you've more or less lost the chicks. If you get say 2 boxes and only one egg hatches, you can transfer one of the other chicks into the bowl, so you've got 2 chicks in the same bowl. If you're constantly needing to know which chicks are from which pair, which you should be really, you need to put a bit of tape or something on the chick's leg, a bit of masking tape or something around one of the legs, because you can't ring the chicks until they're sort of getting on for 10 days to 2 weeks old, depending on the young. The rings will just fall off. And when you do ring the chicks, you want to make a note of the numbers, and a day after, for up to 3 or 4 days after, you want to keep checking them chicks to make sure that the rings haven't come off, because they do throw them off, and if you notice at the last minute, then you're not going to be able to get the ring back on again. I'm just going to try putting one of these cocks in here. One mate, where did you go? Now we'll put a hen in the box. It's going to take him a minute or two to sort of get used to these new surroundings. But as soon as I put a hen in, he'll get the idea. I'm a brother and sister, so I wouldn't let them pair up anyway. But that's the hen going in. And you can see already there the cock. He started doing the dance for her. He's caught in her now. And the only thing that's on his mind is to tread that hen. And now she's submitted. Yeah, you see straight away that's how easy it is to pair up rollers. She's accepted his advances already. That's also his intention, to drive her into that bowl, and there she is, submitted. So he's treading her now to make her fertile. And he'll keep doing that for the next 2 or 3 days, 4 days. By the end of that, she'll start to produce eggs and lay them in that bowl. There you go, you can see that hen now. She's nodding her head. She's accepted the pairing. He wants her back in the bowl. And away you go. 10 days you'll have eggs. 18 days you'll have chicks, and about 10 to 15 days after that you'll have another 2 eggs in that bowl. And that's how you breed rollers. After a while you'll notice when you're letting 2 and 3 and 4 birds out at a time, you get to sort of know which cocks aren't going to be fighting but I'm telling you now, if you leave all the doors open and let everything just mix up, the cocks will go in them bowls, in them boxes. They will fight with the other cocks. You'll find the eggs get trampled, you'll find chicks get trampled in the fight, and you'll start losing birds. Another important reason for keeping the birds tied up, you don't get too much crossbreeding, because you don't get any, do you? Because the cocks will tread other hens, and then you're never sure which are the mother and which are the father if you're breeding in an open loft. But this way, you know, you're guaranteed as soon as you've got eggs, you can let the cocks out then, because once all the hens have got eggs, it doesn't matter what's treading what. But if you put all your birds together at once in the box, you'll more or less get all your chicks hatching at the same time. And if you're going to breed, depends on yourself how many birds you want. But 6 pairs are going to produce 12 young. And I personally wouldn't go for much more than 3 rounds or 4 rounds. I think the birds just get weak after 4 rounds. They're kind of getting weak after 3 rounds. All that constant sitting, laying eggs and feeding the young, it kind of does take it out of them. So if you go much beyond 3 to 4 rounds, you'll start finding birds that are weak, chicks that are weak, and they sort of getting problems with feeding, and they're kind of scrawny. You kind of get birds that don't hatch. I've just found problems. So I would only ever have 3 rounds from now on off a young bird, off a pair. I hope that's covered something for you guys and helps you out. Another thing, just keep your boxes really clean as much as you can. It prevents disease. Do the best you can to keep out vermin like mice, slugs and things like that. Right guys, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.